Hello, singers. I'm Brett Manning. Thank you for trusting Singing Success with your vocal development. The program you've just purchased is my life's work, and I'm honored that you've purchased this program in pursuit of mastering your mix. This program is not a quick fix, although I believe it's the fastest, most effective tool for mastering your mix. This program is the accumulation of half my life, 21 years of research and development. I think it's ironic that we are releasing this program in the 42nd year of my life. Those of you who pursue this to the end, doing all 12 CDs, which could easily be done in 3 weeks, watch the DVD, and then go back through the CDs again and again, will experience such phenomenal growth that your friends, colleagues, peers, family, and critics will be astonished. I know this because every day in my studio, I hear singers talking about the rich, satisfying experiences of singing out with amazing confidence, literally blowing audiences away with ease. When using this program, I'm asking that you decide now to never give up. Don't let the bullies of self-doubt, excuse-making, frustration, and criticism steal your joy and determination. In all this, I'm not asking that you give me a try and not give up on my system. I'm asking that you not give up on you. This reminds me of a man who was a prisoner of war and was digging a tunnel to escape when he ran into solid rock. He chiseled away for 6 months, only breaking up small chunks of rock at a time. Eventually, the prisoner gave up and decided he was doomed to spend the rest of his life as a prisoner of war. A decade later, after political pressure and peace treaties were signed, the prisons closed and the prisoners released, the prisoner decided to return to the tunnel with more sophisticated tools and large hammers and break through the wall as a matter of symbolic satisfaction. While in prison, he had already chiseled through 16 feet of stone. In the end, he was 5 inches from freedom. This is the case of many singers who've given up just before their biggest breakthroughs. Don't quit. Don't give up. You've made an investment. Now, take pride in the ownership of what I believe is the most complete, advanced method to building a phenomenal voice. The voice must be developed part and parcel before combining resonance. The chest voice must stand on its own. The head voice must be pure and resonate freely in order to give the chest voice something to mix with. Pharyngeal is an optional crayon for coloring. To fill these resonators, let's start with the chest voice. Place your hand on your sternum and say, ah, ah. Feel the vibration against your chest voice. This is a sympathetic vibration of chest voice, though the resonance is mainly felt external. There is an internal resonance for the chest voice. This is against the hard palate or the roof of the mouth. So place your hand above your lip with your index finger against your lip and palm facing downward like this. Notice all the resonance, ah, is felt in the palm of your hand, ah, as a mirror of the resonance felt in the roof of your mouth when you say, ah, ah, ah. So the chest resonance is felt externally against the sternum and internally against the roof of the mouth. Now, to feel the head resonator, place your hand on top of your head and your other hand against your lip, like we did earlier, and say, whee, whee, whee. Notice how you feel resonance vibrating against your skull. Not everyone will feel this in their own voices at first because it is hard to isolate the sensations in your body. If someone next to you were to place their hand on your head, they would definitely feel the head vibrations. The third resonator is the forgotten mechanism called pharyngeal. And you can feel this in the back of your throat and the face and nasal cavities on the sound ang, ang. This resonator has the job of releasing the chest voice towards head voice and is itself a bridging mechanism. Let me explain more simplistically. The resonance that is in the mouth often gets trapped in the mouth. This chest voice has the tendency to feel like every note higher gets harder until the chords have a sudden loss of compression and the voice flips into falsetto like this. The pure, legit head voice has the tendency to feel a complete sense of release and very little resonance of mouth resonance. The problem? Getting from mouth or chest resonance to the nasal or head resonance without an audible click, flip, or outright break in your voice. The answer to this is twofold. One is to develop the in-between, or what we call the connecting resonator, which is the pharyngeal sound that we were just talking about. The resonator has the function of blending the head and chest resonators together because it is actually the second resonator. So, the resonance ascends from chest up through the pharynx and finally into the head. In the mid-ranges of the voice, all three resonators are actually creating a balanced and pleasing tone. The principle is not one of addition, but of multiplication of resonators. So, instead of 3 plus 3 plus 3, we should be thinking 3 times 3 times 3. This is the place of maximum quality to any healthy voice. It is the commercial part of the voice that is saved up for the money notes. The pharyngeal voice also has the job of coordinating the muscles that produce the chest voice with the muscles that produce head voice. They tend to thin out the voice when it comes to the bulk of musculature being used, but sound is not lost because you are creating with resonators that actually are supposed to activate at the same time as you surrender the weight off the musculature. This would be like shooting a basketball from the three-point line at 20 feet out after shooting free throws at 15 feet out, but not increasing your muscles to make the shot. This is what the pharyngeal is to the voice: legs for increased power and range. The second principle of blending uses pharyngeal and more musculature from the cords themselves through what we will call edge control. This is the idea that we can blend through a process of what we call shading. Shading is the letting off of head to chest without the utilization of the pharyngeal, producing light and buttery tones similar to Smokey Robinson, Matthew Ward, or Luther Vandross. And country music, Vince Gill would be a master of these coordinations. Finally, understanding these two qualities of mix can be understood in terms of the brassy, trumpet-like pharyngeal voice or the hooty, flute-like mix. If, when using this program, you find that your voice tires easily, has excess strain or chronic breathiness, meaning a raspy tone, then you should see an ENT or throat doctor. If your main difficulties are an organic cord dysfunction that will not allow you to make the sounds asked of you, then medical attention would be wise. When using this program, don't get tripped up by the title Mastering Your Mix. I've not mastered mine yet, and nor have most of my colleagues. Very few singers have any degree of mastery over their mix. However, there are some, and I've had the privilege of taking them there. And also I've had brief moments where I've experienced levels in my voice that I thought I would never attain to. Less because of my gift or knowledge, more because of my excessive teaching load and perpetually fatigued voice. The beautiful thing is, while enduring these impossible conditions, that I've still had moments where I've been at levels with those who have mastered their voice. Take advantage that you now have a system and a plan towards maximizing your voice. Do not compare yourself to anyone but yourself. When doing this program, most of the exercises will start with the male voice, only because we typically start low and warm up to the high voice. If you are a lady who can sing the low notes, start with the men. Those exercises starting on the high notes will begin with the ladies. If you are a male singer who can sing high easily, you can also start with the ladies. But be sure to sing only the pitches you are comfortable with. Do not keep singing if you feel strain or discomfort. Move on to another exercise and then come back to the one you were being challenged with. Every day is different, and your voice will always respond differently depending on rest, stress levels, hormone levels, travel, weather, sickness, and all other variables that affect the stability of the singing voice. Just know that every time you practice using right technique, you will become more stable and consistent as a singer, no matter what variables may be trying to affect you. When using this program, you will hear terminology that may be disputed in the academic world. Fact is, almost everyone disputes one another. The opinions about singing are vast. And rather than allowing ourselves to get bogged down in the debate over what isn't or is falsetto, or how many bridges there are in the voice, let's keep our focus on the real reason we are doing these exercises: to make new sounds, in order to better express the art of singing. I always want to reserve the right to be wrong, because that is the one thing all vocal coaches have in common. They are right about some things and wrong about others. The real question is, what are the results of your training methods? If these methods don't work quick and effective, I would have quit coaching a long time ago. However, I've had the privilege of watching voices transform from average to epic, and many of these singers would not be able to describe one musculature function in relationship to singing. So relax and learn. Suspend what you know for a while and try to see through new eyes. Then you will experience phenomenal breakthrough in your singing. When doing these exercises, you will notice that very few exercises go into extreme high notes or low notes. The Singing Success Systematic Vocal Training Program does more to extend range. Also, our Singing Success Online video lessons have sessions that work on extreme high notes and lows. The main objective of this program is to build the middle of your range through the blending of qualities. All the keys, tempos, note volumes, and note durations have been calculated arduously to produce the best possible results for your vocal workout. We will often be calling out the notes that you are singing. We will do this so that you can monitor your progress and know where you are supposed to be transitioning from chest to mix to head voice. Know that every exercise will help every other exercise. We are after the variety of muscular coordinations that all inevitably assist each other. This program is like a workout video series where the exercises keep evolving, giving the muscles beauty, help, strength, and coordination. In all this, you want to keep repeating all the CDs in order to cover every area of your voice. Again, each exercise helps every other exercise, so do them all and start over, and then do them all again. There are certain exercises that are repeated in the first program, like the lip rolls, and that are seldom repeated in this program. But you may want to start every exercise workout with a few slides like this. This exercise is the most friendly exercise for a cold voice to get started and a tired voice to warm down. So, if the CD you are starting with is giving you problems, you can always go back and do the slides in lip rolls to ease up the tension from your voice. You may want to keep a note of which exercises are tension busters. For me, the lip rolls, the vocal fraught, the and the siren, yee, and the NG, are the best exercises I know of to break apart tension. Tension that can build up overnight while sleeping, or as a result of straining your neck while lifting weights, doing push-ups or sit-ups, or allergies, reflux, migraines, abuse of singing, poor nutrition, or the daily stresses of living your life. Another thing, we will be introducing new terminology to singing. One of these terms is truly connected, which simply means that the head and chest voice overlap so that it is hard to tell where one voice ends and the other begins. Truly connected means that you don't hear sudden shifts, even if they are subtle, anywhere in your range. This is a foreshadow of the cool, cutting-edge ideas that we will be sharing with you in mastering your mix. When doing each session, try not to be too critical of yourself. Almost everything we do is difficult before it is easy. We need to understand that having an off day is no criteria for judging our voices. I've had days where I couldn't sustain a single note in my mix. Does that make me a terrible singer? I hope not. I'd rather be judged on my best vocal performance than by my worst. Know that the seasons will have to change a couple of times before the slow ticking of the clock and your relentless work ethic has produced a level of mastery. Another key point to note is that I will be somewhat over-explaining the exercise. This is not because I want you to tire out with technique. Rather, it is because I'm taking into account what nearly 20 years of teaching experience has taught me, that people all learn differently. So I'm attempting to appeal to the various styles by which people are able to absorb ideas. Once you've heard the explanation and or demonstration, there may be no need to further listen over and over again. That depends on how far you already are in your vocal studies. However, you may want to sing along with the demonstration occasionally as a reminder of good technique. Another thing we've done is to occasionally surprise you with some humorous elements to keep you entertained. We certainly don't believe that learning has to be boring, so relax and have fun with the program. As you go from lesson to lesson, don't stay too long on any particular lesson. Anywhere from 1 to 3 times is plenty. Then move on. You can always come back. Same with an exercise. If you struggle with a particular exercise, you may want to do a different exercise and then come back to the more difficult exercise. You don't need to perfect it in the first try. Some exercises that my students have mastered are still nearly impossible for me to do well because of my strengths are very strong and my weaknesses are, to me, even more glaring. Vocal development is a lifelong process. Vocal maintenance is also a lifelong process, but the reward is the art. As you are doing the exercises in this program, know that as you approach the higher notes, unless otherwise stated, it's a good idea to drop your jaw slightly to keep from the Miss Piggy squeeze. On all vowels, unless otherwise stated, assume a tongue position that keeps the tip of the tongue resting, not pressing behind the bottom front teeth, as in the word he. He. This will keep you from curling your tongue backwards, especially on O and A.
O, A, O, A.
This is awful. It distorts the tone and makes singing harder than it needs to be. Practice the following. Say he, like this.
He.
See the tongue resting comfortably? Now, from that position, slowly move through all the vowel sounds.
E, A, E, A, U, U, O, A.
We have the tongue position on all the consonants.
Nay, 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 nay. Nay, no, ni, na. Day, do, da. Lay, lo, li, lie.
On all these sounds and multiple others, the principle is to quickly return the tongue back to its correct position to keep the vowels pure and the throat free and singing easy.